here with another Q&A. I am back with Zach in Indiana. So you guys saw the travel vlog of me flying. It wasn't too long because I was really bored and really tired and I didn't really want to film much. It's taken me like, I think about half an hour to like, for some reason, get the courage to do this video. I don't know why, but like knowing that he's right over there like in his office and like he can hear me like was really scaring me. I have no idea why, but it was. So I had to go in and I was like, can you promise not to listen? And he was like, yeah. And then like 10 minutes later I was like, can you put headphones on so you can't hear me? So I've got a cozy fire and I had to listen to some music to pump myself up and like get ready, but now I'm good to go. I don't have my Mad Hatter hat because I wasn't about to spend all the space packing that, so I just used Zach's like Chester plushie from Don't Starve. So we have that, and without further ado, let's go. If you had one game that you got to go back and start over, what would it be and why? So I feel like a lot of people are gonna hate my answer to this. The answer to this isn't one of my favorite games. It was actually the very first game that I played on PS4, and for some reason, I don't know why, I just fell in love with it. I think I was going through a hard time when I played that game, and it was just like, felt like a coming of age to like finish that game, and I wish I could go and do it again because I love the world and everything. But if I had to restart one game and see it for the first time again, it would be Dragon Age Inquisition. I love the world in that game. I love the crafting. I love, you know, the interaction with the characters and how fun it is. I love the idea of like the rifts and Corypheus. Like Corypheus coming in and he's like this giant rock monster and like siding with the Templars and finding like, you know, the red rocks are really bad and just going through and fighting everything. And I remember like gaining confidence because that was the first Dragon Age game I had played. Gaining confidence going through and like, oh my gosh, I'm such a high level. I can beat all these levels that I thought was so hard and stuff like that. So if I had to restart one game, it would definitely be that one. And Zach's talked about playing it and I'm like, I wanna watch, I wanna play it again. Favorite video game? My favorite video game, ironically, is not Dragon Age Inquisition, even though I'd like to play that one again. My favorite game is BioShock for multiple reasons. I love creepy things and I love anything from that 40s, 50s, swing Sinatra era, and it had that kind of vibe with, you know, before Rapture collapsed and it was up and running with the ball, the masquerade balls, and like the outfits they had a very classic feel to it, which is another reason why I love Fallout so much. But I also love BioShock because it's creepy, it has the swing elements that I really like, and then also that was the first video game I had ever played, I believe. It was back when I was really little. My dad is big into PC gaming and he had a PC behind the couch downstairs, and I remember I was little and I would just sit and put my head up on the couch and watch him play, and finally he was like, do you want to play? I love the story in that game. There's a book also written by John Shirley that's amazing, and that was one of the things that Zach and I, you know, when we hit it off, that was one of the things we talked about, that we loved BioShock so much. We kind of were like, okay, favorite game, 1, 2, 3, go. And we just happen to have the same one. So it has a lot of like family ties to it, and I also love the creepy elements to it, and I love, you know, the idea of genetic modification and making it into like superpowers almost, but it went wrong, and so you get the creepy aspect. I just love all of it. So that's definitely my favorite video game. What is the last picture you took with your phone? I believe the last picture I took with my phone is one of Zach and I, because I always want to document the time that we have together. So I took this is the very last picture I took with my phone, and it is it's the two of us, and then we always take a few every time. So there's a few of us just like being dorky and having fun. So that's the last picture I took with my phone. How old are you? I'm 20, and I will be 21 April 6th. What is my perfect pizza? I've pretty much gotten the same things on my pizza since I was little. When we would get pizzas in our house, my parents would always be like, okay, you know, what do you, like me and my brother would share a piece, and he's like, what do you guys want? And my brother and I would always agree that we wanted pepperoni and olives. That was what we wanted on our pizza. We always asked for stuffed crust. And then as I've gotten older, I've tried to branch out more things like supreme pizza, but whatever it is, it has to have olives on it. But actually, one of my favorite pizzas at a restaurant out here that I think I actually put in a vlog. It's a gluten-free flatbread, and it has mozzarella cheese, Roma tomatoes, and like basil oil, and it's so good. It doesn't sound like it'd be good, but it was amazing. But I still think that my favorite pizza would have to be like just cheese, olives, and pepperoni with stuffed crust. I think just gotta go with the classic. Do you have any nicknames, or did you have any growing up? I had not many nicknames because my name's already pretty short. My full name isn't Rebecca. My legal name is just Becca Vaughn. You know, it's super short. My family calls me Beck, B-E-C, and Zach calls me Beck. In high school, I had a few people called me B, and then some people called me Bex, like B-E-C-K-S. I found out from someone that like some people have a nickname for me based on because I love Harry Potter so much that they call me Potter. But other than that, I haven't really had many, but the main one I've always had growing up was Beck. Favorite cartoon? I loved SpongeBob growing up. I was definitely a SpongeBob child. I loved in high school, yeah, I was in high school, and I woke up super early every morning to watch an episode of the Magic School Bus, and I would always switch between that and Full House, and then I would always watch The Little Mermaid. They had like a TV show, and Lilo and Stitch. I don't know why, but when I was in high school, I loved those. I grew up watching Looney Tunes and stuff like that. I wasn't allowed to watch, no. My absolute favorite of all time is Scooby-Doo. Absolute, hands down, favorite cartoon of all time. I wasn't allowed to watch many cartoons when I was a kid because they were very, like, my parents didn't want us to be disrespectful for them, so if they were disrespectful to their parents, I couldn't watch it, you know, stuff like that. I also couldn't watch Courage the Cowardly Dog because they thought it would scare me, and rightfully so, it probably would have. So right now I'm watching all the episodes of Courage the Cowardly Dog, and that cartoon is terrifying and so scarring. There's sometimes where I'm like, this is so creepy, I do not want to watch this, and so abusive to Courage. Like, just knowing that I have such like a thing with animals getting hurt, no, it was not, I was not having it. Next one, favorite book. I read a lot. Oh man, that's really hard to pick my favorite book. I really like that Rapture book by John Shirley. I really loved, I think one of the first books that got me into reading was Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. I really loved that book. I mean, I've honestly read hundreds and hundreds of books, so I can't really pick a favorite, but those are the two that stand out in my mind the most. My favorite series, I can't pick a favorite book from them, but my favorite series is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. And then obviously the Infernal Devices and the Dark Artifices, which are coming out in March. I really love that series, but I can't pick a favorite book from that, so I'm gonna have to exclude that. But if you haven't checked out Rapture by John Shirley, Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, which was made into a movie, or Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare, I highly recommend you do. Do you have any siblings? I have one sibling. He is 18 years old, so he's younger than me, my younger brother, Trey. We fought a lot growing up, and we didn't really get along, and we hated each other. And then now that we're older and we kind of came into our own sense of humor and got friends and relied less on each other, we actually have so much fun, like just staying up. I remember times where we'd just stay up until like 3 a.m. just like laughing at the kitchen table and joking around and just having a good time with him. So I think he's probably one of the people I'm closest to besides him and my mom, and then like Zach. But yeah, so I only have one brother. My parents thought about adopting for a while, but then they didn't want to. I think one of the reasons I love my brother so much is because we're just so real and so sarcastic, and we can be humorous with each other. He got a job where he started working night shifts from 9:30 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. And I remember he comes in and he was like, do you want to go get food? And it was like 2 a.m. I was like, dude, no, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. And he goes, oh, okay, well, it's like 8 a.m. to me, so all right, I guess we'll see you later. And I felt bad, of course, because he, you know, he just wants to spend time together, but he always works when I'm awake and sleeps during the day. So I texted him and I was like, you know, I have some movies or something if you want to watch it or borrow them or something like that. And he goes, it's okay. I'm eating lunch meat at 3 a.m. in my underwear in the kitchen. I've lost control of my life. And I knew he was kidding, but it was so funny just to sit there and laugh with him and have that, you know, that's something that we quote often. So next one is, what are your fears? I've made it a point in my life to like get over my fears and any of them that I had. In the moment, I definitely, you know, I have the fears that anyone else would have, like bugs and snakes and stuff like that. They do creep me out, but I think that's not something that like keeps me up at night. And when I see a picture of them, or I see like a movie like in oh, what was that movie, King Kong, the new one, like that stuff didn't bother me. One of my biggest fears actually of all time is loud noises. I can't stand loud noises. It used to like just put me out of commission if I heard a loud noise, especially at like amusement parks or something. I always have to like plug my ears. And the scariest part of scary movies isn't like the jump scares of like what you're gonna see and it's gonna jump out at you. It was like the roaring that the monster would make, or the really loud music that the director would put in there. So when I watch scary movies, I actually plug my ears. When I play scary games, I actually like plug my ears because I don't know why, it scares me so bad. And like I used to just not be able to handle it at all, and it would scare me and I would just shut down and I couldn't focus during the rest of the day or something like that. But now I've gotten over it and I know how to like combat it, and you know, with earplugs and stuff like that. But that's my big fear. I'm not afraid of the dark, not really afraid of heights. I'm afraid that I'm gonna fall, but not to a point where I wouldn't do them. Like I would absolutely go up on really high, you know, spaces or really high things. Yeah, that's about it. That's all the questions that I have for this one. I have a few left, not too many. So if you guys have any more questions, leave them down below, or go ahead and tweet me or tweet them and use the hashtag #AskVaughn. I love doing these and I love sharing like who I am with you guys. So doing that, and I'd like to continue. Overall, I appreciate you watching this video and taking the time to check it out. Go ahead and leave it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot. And leave any questions down below that you have in the comments, and then also tell me what your favorite video game is and which one you would like to restart and play for the first time again if you could. That's a really good question. I'm glad that I got that one. I can't really think of anything else. I love you all, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all later.